Imagine this. A royal wedding, but it's set in a Macedonian palace and it's fueled by rage, not love. Picture Queen Arsinoe II forced into this, well, chilling marriage with her own half-brother. That crown must have felt heavy like a shackle. Today, we're doing a deep dive into her life, Arsinoe II. She started out really as just a pawn in these deadly ancient power games. But somehow, through sheer grit, maybe cunning, she transformed herself into this legendary queen, even deified.
To really get how audacious that journey was, you have to understand this fundamental clash of cultures happening. On one hand, you've got the ancient Greeks. For them, sibling marriage, just unthinkable, an abomination. But then you have the Egyptian tradition, sacred, embodied by figures like Isis and Osiris. It's revered, this huge difference, this divide, it fundamentally shaped her destiny, you see. What was scandalous for Greeks, she turned into a source of power.
That context is so important. Okay, so Arsinoe, born around 316 BCE, daughter of Ptolemy I Soter. But her childhood, that wasn't long, was it? At just 15, she's married off to Lysimachus, king of Thrace. And this guy's old enough to be her grandfather. That sounds less like romance and more like, well, pure political maths. Was there any space for her own choice in that?
You've nailed it. That was the reality for royal women then. It was the cold mathematics of empire. Stark. Her bloodline, her looks maybe, they were just currency. Assets for forging alliances, personal feelings, totally secondary, if they were even considered at all. And it's in that environment, that really cutthroat world, that Arsinoe had to learn. Not just survive, but assert herself somehow.
And it seems she learned quickly. Lysimachus's court, I'm guessing it was a viper's nest. How did she manage? What was her first big play to get some kind of control?
Oh, absolutely, a viper's nest. And she saw fast that just being beautiful wasn't enough. Not nearly enough. You needed cunning. We see this really clearly with her role in what happened to Agathocles, Lysimachus' heir. By, let's say, maneuvering against him, she basically cleared the path for her own sons, secured their place. But that kind of ambition, well, it came with a massive price tag. And eventually, it left her a widow, on the run. This is 281 BCE.
Wow. A widow on the run, 3 young sons needing protection. That's incredibly vulnerable for anyone, let alone a queen. What could she even do next? Was the desperate move?
Yeah, her options were pretty grim. Very few. For protection, she actually accepted a marriage proposal from her own half-brother, Ptolemies. He was king of Macedon then. It must have seemed like the only option. Gamble for safety, maybe a safe haven.
But it wasn't safe at all. It turned into this horrific trap. Cyrannus. He murdered her 2 younger sons right after the wedding. The brutality of that betrayal is just, it's hard to fathom. How does someone even come back from that? What does she do?
I mean, that level of trauma, it would destroy most people. But Arsinoe, it seems like it just forged this iron will in her. She didn't just fall apart. She engineered this dramatic escape disguised as a servant. It just shows her incredible drive to survive.
Yeah.
That betrayal, it really highlights how precarious power was for royal women back then. But even after fleeing, finding refuge in Samothrace, Arsinoe somehow makes her most audacious move yet.
Which was, going back to Egypt, right, to marry her full brother, Ptolemy II Philadelphus. Now, to the Greeks, this was just scandalous, an abomination. So what was the strategy? How did this shocking union actually empower her?
Exactly. Shocking to the Greeks, but utterly strategic. This wasn't about love. It was a very calculated embrace of ancient Egyptian custom. By marrying her full brother, they could present themselves legitimately as the Theoi Philadelphoi, the sibling-loving gods, mirroring Isis and Osiris, that divine pair. So this move, it turned a Greek scandal into an Egyptian sacred tradition. It gave them both this huge divine legitimacy and political stability. It completely reframed everything.
Yeah. And as Ptolemy II's co-ruler, she became, well, indispensable, it sounds like. You said she redefined queenship. How did she act as a real power player?
Oh, absolutely. A genuine co-ruler. We see her sharp mind at work, especially in foreign policy. She wasn't just nodding along. She was actively advising, like urging a really swift, decisive attack in the First Syrian War. That was likely her counsel. And she was a master of using divine imagery for legitimacy, getting her face on coins alongside Ptolemy, establishing her own religious cults. This was way beyond being just a consort. She created this whole new model, Ptolemaic queenship. It was a blend, really. Greek political authority meets Egyptian divine kingship. Potent stuff.
It's amazing. Arsinoe dies in 270 BCE, gets officially deified, and she leaves behind this blueprint for powerful women rulers that lasts for centuries. So, thinking about her legacy, what's the main takeaway?
I think it's how she fundamentally transformed victimization. Think about it, the arranged marriages, the betrayals, losing her sons. Horrific. But she turned all that into this source of incredible authority. She took the chains that were meant to bind her, and through strategy, through these marriages, these political moves, she forged them into a crown. And her influence, yeah, it shaped queens for generations. Cleopatra VII, most famously, definitely drew on Arsenie's model of powerful, deified female rule.
So, yeah. From this pawn traded around in brutal political deals to a literal goddess queen who rewrote the rules, Arsinoe II's life, her journey, it's really something else.
It truly is. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What extraordinary lengths might someone go to? Maybe lengths you might go to, not just to survive, but to actually transcend the limits placed on you. And what's the ultimate price you pay for that kind of power, that kind of transformation?